Life doesn't move in straight lines. It twists, turns, and surprises us along the way. On Better Things Ahead, we talk with people who have walked those winding paths. Each story reminds us of the lessons, hope, and promise of better things ahead. Welcome in. My name is Matt Cloyd, and joined with me this week is Senior Pastor Michael Estes.
Morning.
And great to have you. We just have kind of come to the end of our New Year's series. We're kind of getting into the swing of things now.
Yep.
And wanted to kind of take a break from some, can be heavier content,
Sure.
right? So this week is going to be kind of a fun, topical type episode.
Yeah, I like it.
And so why don't you kind of introduce and kind of tell us our game and kind of what our goal is today.
Yeah, so we are going to play a game today. We've done this before, at least in a similar way. We did a hot takes episode where we just kind of talked through different hot takes that we all had, and we talked about our hot takes with each other. Some of us disagreed with hot takes, like I'm still kind of upset that you really believe movies are better than books, but I've gotten over it.
My
obviously.
sister's been arguing with me about that too.
Well, she's right.
Yeah, but it's just, you can't.
Okay.
You can't read a page. You can't read a page the same way that you can visually watch it. Like a movie, it affects all the senses. A book doesn't.
It can if your imagination is healthy and alive.
My imagination is not going to come up with the Harry Potter Hedwig theme music that I can get from watching it in a movie. I don't even know that J.K. Rowling puts in there.
Anyways.
Hedwig music comes in right now. So to prompt me to kind of think, this would be a great, bring in some violin, bring in some of this instrument. Yeah, I can hear it now. No.
I will say that's probably the most important feature of a movie adaptation of a book is the fact that you get a soundtrack. I'm fine with that. Okay,
Yeah.
We're good with that. I'm good with that. So our game today is going to kind of be similar. It's just going to be a little bit different. We're gonna each share Mount Rushmores of specific topics that we've all been assigned. Kelly, producer Kelly, is going to join us today.
Hello.
And so each of us has a topic, and what we do is we share our top four of that topic. And by the way, the top four for you can kind of be what you want it to be. In other words, like this can be the four most influential fill in the blank in your life, or this can be the thing that you think are the four most important of should be everybody's most important.
Yeah.
And so what we're going to do, I would say that like as we kind of work our way through this, we would specify what we think kind of is kind of our categories. So like how did we come up with our list? And then we're each going to share a list with each other for each topic, and then we're going to vote on whose list is best. The rules say that you can't vote for yourself, so you can't vote for your own list, even if you think your list is the best. And obviously you do think your list is the best because you made that list, but you can't vote for yourself. And so at the end, we're either all going to tie or somebody's going to win, and somebody will have the best list. In the end, all of my lists will be the best because they're my list. Producer Kelly has a look on her face where she disagrees with me. We're going to find out how much we agree and disagree with one another. I'll be curious to know what each of these lists look like, just so that everybody knows ahead of time kind of what to expect as we move through the episode. Matt has the list that we've assigned, or the topic that we've assigned him is superheroes. So we're going to get the Mount Rushmore of superheroes from Matt, and then Kelly and I are going to share ours. Kelly is going to do the Mount Rushmore of beverages, which I think is actually going to potentially be one of the most highly debated ones, because like there's a lot of kind of beverages out there, first of all, and then people have really strong opinions on beverages. So, and then I'll share my Mount Rushmore of books of the Bible and kind of talk through why I picked the books that I did. And so, Matt, you're going to lead us off.
Okay.
So you're going to throw out your first list of superheroes. What is your Mount Rushmore? First of all, can you name the Mount Rushmore of actual Mount Rushmore? Who are the four presidents on there?
That's a great question. I know my boy Teddy is on there.
Yeah, he is.
Teddy Roosevelt. Lincoln.
Yes.
is on there. Washington
3 for 3
is on there. And
It's always the fourth one.
give me a second.
He was early.
Mm-hmm.
He was really big on us being able to live independently of the government.
Yeah. Was it Jefferson?
It was Jefferson.
Yeah.
Well done, Matt. Well done. All right, so he's ready now. Superheroes, here we go.
All right. So my Abraham Lincoln of superhero. No, I'm just kidding.
I was about to say, if I have to come up with that, it's gonna be a long podcast. But I have to figure that out.
All right. So I guess set the standard first, right?
Yeah, your standard for your list.
So my Mount Rushmore of superheroes, I leaned into the kind of best overall, all time.
These should be everybody's Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Okay? And I struggled because some of the people on this list I would not put on my personal.
Interesting.
Because I don't necessarily like them, but as far as what they have done for the superhero world, they deserve to be there, right?
Sure.
So, and so that was kind of my take on those. And this also leans more into not just modern era, what we would refer to as modern era superheroes that have been made popular in modern culture, like the MCU and things like that.
Sure.
Comes into play a little bit, but mine's much more of a traditional Mount Rushmore.
All right.
I would say. All right. So no particular order. I'm not ranking these 4 Mount Rushmore because how would you rank the presidents, right? You can't really rank the 4 that are there. You could, but that's a different debate, right?
Sure.
And so my 4 in no particular order would be a Batman.
Okay.
Superman.
All right.
Spider-Man. And Captain America.
We only share 2 of the 4.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Did you tell me that?
No.
Oh, you're saying, your list. You would only share. You only have 2 of the 4.
No. Yeah. You and I only share 2 of these 4.
Okay. All right. And so kind of going through each one, I'll be honest, Superman is the one that I'm not a fan of. Never really been a Superman fan. Never enjoyed the comics. Never enjoyed the movies. Never quite could get on the Superman train. However, given historical context and general superhero universe, Superman is a classic that I think deserves to be there.
Sure.
Batman, I think, is another, kind of DC comic book staple. Kind of that rugged, vigilante type hero that kind of set the tone different. Now it's not a superhero.
Yep.
In essence, you basically have, abilities, which I think is what makes him deserving to be there, because now it's outside of the supernatural abilities. If you got a lot of money, you can be Batman kind of thing.
I mean, you have to be a genius as well. But.
Sure, that's right. And then Spider-Man, I think he represents your everyday struggle, an everyday person. If you were to truly be bitten by a radioactive spider,
I mean, yeah,
what
would my life be if I was bitten by a radioactive? Yeah,
and and it's you have this kind of youthfulness to him. Again, one of Stan Lee's originals. Right. And you have the struggle where he struggles with the identity of being a hero at times. He has trauma, he has all these things, and I think deserving to be in that spot. And then Captain America, I think, kind of goes with that nostalgia, World War II era when comic books and stuff were first getting really popular and things like that. And you have this guy who similar to Spider-Man, except now you kind of have a true moral compass and this character that you are aspiring to be, similar to Superman, right? Because Superman is kind of this all-powerful, superhero, and he has all this power. So what do you do if you have all that power?
Yep.
Quote a somewhat famous guy that I may have already mentioned: "With great power comes great responsibility."
I mean,
right?
Yeah, he's there.
And so you have Captain America, who kind of was that idolized kind of figure of he establishes that moral compass and rises above. And so, so that's kind of big picture my 4.
All right, so I'll go ahead and tell you the 2 that I agree with. Superman and Spider-Man.
Okay.
Both for the reason that when you ask the average person that maybe isn't a superhero person, who are some superheroes, they're going to name those 2 probably, because for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned, Superman is the quintessential superhero. And he is, to me, I agree with you, he's harder to like only because he's almost perfect. It's how do you beat him? And he seems to lack weaknesses. I know he has kryptonite, but even sometimes then he overcomes the strength of the kryptonite against all this stuff. So I love Spider-Man. I when I was younger didn't like so much the childish or teenage banter that he would throw out there, but as I've gotten older, it makes me laugh, and it's funny to see his youthfulness next to some of the older guys that are a part of the superhero world. I think if we're just kind of talking about MCU, he's actually going to be really important in the next phase of MCU, in my opinion. I think he's going to feature prominently in their biggest new movie, Avengers Doomsday. It's got another movie coming out. So there's now been, this will be the third, there's two trilogies and one 2-movie series with Spider-Man, which is kind of overkill. But, it's because people love him. Now, the next two that I have, one has to do with a group that I think is super important to the comic book world, and it's X-Men. I think that, for me, when I was younger, X-Men was way more important to me than Avengers or anything. Yep. I just loved the X-Men world. I thought it was super cool. And the X-Man is Wolverine. He's called a Project X, whatever. And so the Wolverine is kind of like an essential superhero X-Man, and he's just kind of represents what that world is all about. And then the other one that I put on mine is because of the MCU, and he became the most important part of the MCU, and that's Iron Man. Tony Stark, Iron Man has to be on there. He's the Batman of Marvel. Mm-hmm. I like him a lot more than Batman. I think Batman is way overrated. There's all these debates in comic book circles and really nerdy comic book stuff that if you give Batman prep time, he can beat anybody. Yeah. Batman with prep time could beat God, that kind of thing. Yeah. And I get tired of that whole deal. But I think Iron Man is kind of so important to comic book movies that he should be on the mountain.
Yeah, which I don't disagree with those takes. With the X-Men, and specifically Wolverine, he would probably be, number 5, number 6 on there. I mean, he was a contender, yep. Right? And so I get that side of things. And then Iron Man, to be honest, in my list, it was him and Batman that I had to choose between.
Yeah.
And the reason I went Batman was because of historical, people who have been involved in the MCU. I think, that Iron Man character is essential to the MCU, right? We've seen that through all their phases.
Yep. Now
we're going to see it even the next phase, his lasting legacy, even though he's dead, right?
Yep.
And so I don't disagree with that. However, the reason what ultimately sent me to Batman was kind of what you said initially, was if you were to ask someone on the street, name 4 superheroes,
that's fair.
More people are going to say Batman than they would Iron Man.
I don't know if they would now, though. I mean, just because of the movies and stuff like that. We got to get Kelly's list. I'm curious to know what's on her list. I don't know if... I think people would say Batman. I think they say Iron Man as well because of the movies.
And they very well could.
So, all right, Kelly, what you got?
Okay, so my Rushmores are the things that I think are the best.
Okay,
not
sounds
the things
good.
that I think the world thinks are the best.
I like this.
I like it.
For all of my lists, so I'll just start with that. But first I have Spider-Man, and then Iron Man. All right,
so 3 for 3.
Yeah,
all right.
Everybody had Spider-Man. And then I had Iron Man.
Okay.
I had Captain Marvel, because how can you not put her on there?
Okay.
And then Ant-Man. I really enjoyed all the Ant-Man movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love the uniqueness of your list.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd's Ant-Man is hilarious. That's probably my favorite. It's not my favorite series because the third movie was so bad. But
Hey, I thought it was okay.
Oh gosh,
I thought it was okay.
I didn't like it. But I like him. He's funny. His powers are not awesome, but I think he's funny. I think his movies are funny. His little crew is funny. So I could get on board with an Ant-Man for sure. As far as Captain Marvel, I mean, she's super powered, but I don't know. They just hadn't done enough with her to make her awesome.
It was also one of the first one I watched.
Okay.
And so that kind of put it in I watched it, I liked it, and so it just kind of stayed up there for me.
I like it.
See, in Batman, I didn't even think of him as a superhero. I don't know why. That never came to my mind.
Yeah. Who? We said. Who was the fourth one that you mentioned?
Ant-Man?
No, I got him. Ant-Man, Spider-Man.
Iron Man?
Oh, you did mention Iron Man. So it's the DC version of Iron Man.
Right. Okay.
But I think it's a great point with my list. It was superhero world as a whole. Kelly's list was MCU.
Yep.
Which is more modern because that's what she's familiar with. And so, I probably still wouldn't put Captain Marvel on there.
And that's okay.
But
she's on my Mount Earth.
That's right.
That's right.
And that's all that matters. Spider-Man, of course.
So we all agreed on Spider-Man.
Yeah. Iron Man. If I were doing just modern era,
Yep.
then he would definitely be there. And Ant-Man, I don't know that I'd put him on the Mount Rushmore personally, but I do like him.
He wouldn't take up much space. He would just be a little bit.
Oh yeah, you could shrink him
So
down.
you could shrink him down and have.
That's a good
Look
idea.
at that. And so, but not bad. Yeah.
Or
pretty
he could
good.
take up way too much space because he can be a giant as well.
That is true.
That's fair.
So, all right. So how do we want to vote? Are we gonna let's go? Okay. Here's how we're gonna do this.
Okay.
When we're gonna go 3, 2, 1. After 1, you're gonna say somebody's name. We'll do it all at the same time. You're gonna vote for somebody's Mount Rushmore, and then at the end of that,
Okay.
we'll see who wins.
And can't vote for ourselves.
Can't vote for yourself.
Okay.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Matt.
Michael.
All right.
win.
Matt's the winner of the
I win.
superhero.
That's
Mount
good because it was my
Rushmore.
topic. If I would have lost, that would have been super embarrassing.
I almost did Michael because of Iron Man, but I feel like you've taught me about Marvel, so that's not really fair. For
There you go. Yeah.
These people wouldn't have made it on here if you didn't tell me why they were important.
That's true. That's true.
So I felt like that was biased. I'm sorry.
Yep, that's true.
What are you talking about? That is biased. You're biasing toward him because he helped you.
Well, yeah.
That when you introduced the rules to begin with, you didn't say anything
Fair.
about that.
Okay. All right. On to the second topic. Kelly, this is your topic. We're
Yeah.
going to go beverages. Your top 4 beverages. Okay. You already said you picked these because these are the ones that matter the most to you.
Correct.
Okay.
And so,
That's also going to be my list, by the way.
Oh, okay, that's
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Okay, so on there, I have Sprite. That's the only soft drink I like. I have Celsius. I drink one every morning. I have water with lots of lemon, so like almost like lemonade, but not.
Say that. What was that?
Water with lots of lemon.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's almost like lemonade,
Yeah.
but like, it's not the same. And then a strawberry acai refresher from Starbucks.
Wow. Okay. I like that you threw in the last one and was like, this is going to be my unique one. Sprite's always a good choice. I think for soft drinks go, Sprite is a good choice, especially if you want to cut down on the caffeine. Tastes good. I like it. So, yeah, Sprite's a good choice. Celsius, don't drink those. I have no opinion. They may be great. I have no idea. So I tend to stay away from energy drinks because I drink natural energy drinks. But I'll get to that.
Celsius would make the argument that it's
Of course they would.
It
natural.
would, but
roots.
I wouldn't make the argument for it. 'Cause ain't no way whatever we put in that can is natural, but it's good.
Thank you, thank you, Kelly. All right. Good Mount Rushmore. You want to go second?
No, you can.
All right.
And,
So-
and remind me, what did you guys say that your conditions were for this list?
For me, for both of us,
Yeah.
it's going to be these are the ones that we like the most.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
That's
all
what I
right.
thought. But
All right. So first, drink it every day. Drink it multiple times a day. Coffee. I actually not only like the effect of coffee, I like the taste of coffee. And I like the taste of coffee without any kind of additives to it. So no creamer, no sugar. I used to be cream and sugar. I found out like whenever I do that a lot, like my stomach would hurt. I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm trying to go just black coffee, see how it goes. Turns out I love it. It took about a week, and then I was like, this is what I like. And I like the fact that you can tell the difference between actual black coffee flavors. You can taste different notes and that sort of thing. Pretty great. All right, so coffee, number 1. Sweet tea, number 2. And that's on that list because, 1, I'm Southern. from Mississippi, grew up here. Sweet tea was a normal part of our regular everyday life. To like a particular type of sweet tea, I would say McAllister sweet tea is right up there. Really, really good. If I was going to have like a second tier, it would be Cane's. And then after that, probably like McDonald's, Chick-fil-A. So sweet tea. Third, a really ice cold Coke. In a glass bottle would be awesome. But a really good ice cold Coke. Really, really good, especially on a hot summer day. Awesome. And then the last one, and this one's just a me one, chocolate milk. It is hard to beat really good chocolate milk.
I don't like a single drink on your list. Not one.
Don't care. But
Sounds like somebody's winning another one.
so we'll see. I may vote for Kelly just because.
Thank
even
you.
though I don't like any of most of the drinks on her
water,
list. I
do you
did.
not?
I like water. I drink
lemon?
lots of water. I don't like it with lemon.
See?
No.
Yeah, I do like Sprite.
Okay.
So you have one drink in your favor. The other drink from Starbucks, I don't even know what that is, and I've never had it before, so I can't. I have 2 of the 4 drinks on your Mount Rushmore I've never even had.
Let's see. I've never had coffee. I don't think I've ever had sweet tea.
You've never had
Coke.
sweet tea?
I've never had Coke. I maybe had a sip of Coke and decided I didn't like it. Oh no, what was the last one?
Chocolate milk?
I don't like chocolate milk. So I've tried 2 of them. Maybe.
Never had sweet tea?
No. I don't.
Okay.
That's interesting.
There's no point in me trying it.
There is a point.
Well, I knew I didn't like it before I tried it.
Oh, okay. Hold on just a second. We do this with our children, Kelly. Why on earth would you say you don't like something without trying it?
Because if I don't like it, then I don't have to drink those calories.
I mean, I don't
I never
disagree.
like it.
I don't really drink sweet tea that much anymore. I just, as far as like my Mount Rushmore, it's got to be on there.
And that's fair. And this is your Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Okay.
Matt?
Okay. So for me, my personal Mount Rushmore of beverages, I'd have to put coffee on there because I drink plenty, a
Yes.
lot each
Yes.
day. And so that was got to be there. I'd have to put sweet tea on there as well.
Okay.
And so I do agree with that. And then I would put, as far as like soft drink goes, my probably go-to soft drink would be a Dr. Pepper.
Julie would agree with you.
Got to put that one on there. Yeah, I get where you're coming from with the classic Coke, but
It's the granddaddy of all soft drinks.
Yeah, and so, but I would prefer an ice cold Dr. Pepper.
Okay. 23 flavors. Is that it?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I would go with that one. And then a new one that I've kind of found, trying to like mitigate like calories and things like that. Kind of a unique one, kind of like Kelly's like Starbucks Extreme Unique, drink there, is Aldi Diet Coke, or I guess it would be Diet Cola.
Okay.
It has a good crisp, like
little bite.
it's solid, and so I'd have
Two
to put
soft
that
drinks.
on my thing right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I could like I like Celsius, I could tuck those in there, but had to go with what's current, what I'm really would put up there right now, and then honorable mention, I don't put it on there because again no one would know what it is, but it would be on my top my Mount Rushmore. It would be a drink called Dr. Enough, which is just local to my hometown.
What's it comparable to?
Mountain Dew and Sprite mixed.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, and
Okay.
fun fact: there's a local bottling company there in my hometown, in Johnson City, Bottling Company, and this was back in I think it was in the 40s, and Pepsi approaches them because they had 2 drinks. They had a drink called Johnson City Gold, and they had a drink called Dr. Enough. And they approached them wanting to purchase the rights to one of them to add to their line. So they tried both, ended up preferring and deciding to go with Johnson City Gold. So they took that, rebranded it as Mountain Dew. And so Mountain Dew originated from the same place that created Dr. Enough. It was just Dr. Enough wasn't picked up by Pepsi. Mountain Dew was. And they changed the formula. The Mountain Dew tastes different than what Johnson City Gold tasted like.
Okay.
Johnson City Gold tasted more like a malt kind of drink. Because they back, I forget how many years they did it, like Mountain Dew and Pepsi released a Mountain Dew Johnson City Gold as a kind of a promotional thing a couple of years ago. But,
Okay.
But yeah, so I would really put Dr. Enough on there, but I would realistically it would replace that Aldi Diet Cola. But
Okay.
I at least want to make a plug for a new soda that I found.
I like the fact that we got some historical data on this podcast. That was supposed to be a fun podcast, and it is fun to learn about new things.
History's great.
It is great. All right, so let's vote for each other. I don't know. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Matt.
Michael.
Yeah, 1-1. I'm excited. I was really expecting you not to vote for me.
Well, I voted for Matt last time, and I didn't like any of his drinks either. Or
So
That's fair.
either never don't like them or haven't tried them.
So she voted for me, even though she didn't really want to. That sounds like what happens in politics sometimes.
That's right. Lesser of two evils, I suppose.
Yeah.
The chocolate milk one was a little surprising.
oh, I forgot about that.
I love chocolate milk.
You know,
Gosh, it's
changed
so
my
good.
vote.
No, too late.
what's your go-to brand of chocolate milk? Because you
I don't
said
have
you want a
real
really
preference.
good one. But
I mean, like Prairie's Farm is good. The Great Value chocolate milk's just fine.
Fairlife, have you had that one?
I have not.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
The boys like that.
Yeah, it's good. My
because they're
brother
always trying to
introduced
get a
me
lot
to
of
that
extra
one.
protein in their diet. So liquid protein's always good.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now to the faith Bible one. We're going to talk about books of the Bible, top 4 books of the Bible. The way I constructed my Mount Rushmore had to do with I would use these 4 books of the Bible to explain to somebody what the Bible is really all about.
Okay.
So maybe not my top 4 personal books of the Bible, but like one of them specifically will be. But I probably wouldn't put all 4 of these on my favorite books of the Bible if I was just going to go to and read on a regular basis. Feel free to construct your list however you want. Kelly's already said that she's constructed hers based on the things that she likes the most. So,
Okay.
all right, so my 4. First one, Genesis. Got to have the beginning, got to know what's going on. Gives us introduction to God being the creator, gives us the introduction to sin coming into the world, and the problem that the Bible is addressing, and God's solution for that problem. So all of those things are right there in the beginning, and then also the introduction of the faith family. Like, this is who the Messiah is going to come from. Where Messiah is coming from. So you got Genesis. I would put Isaiah in there. Isaiah tells us a lot about like what happened to that faith family, how did they fall into trouble, what God's going to do to get them out of trouble, and then ultimately that there's somebody coming to deal with all of these problems. Then I would go Luke, and I kind of want to cheat and say Luke Acts because it's a 2-volume set, but I won't do that. I'll just say Luke. The Gospel of Luke is my favorite gospel. That's the one that I would put in my Mount Rushmore as, one of my top 4 favorite books of the Bible. I love Luke's version of the gospel. A lot of people say it is the gospel for the Gentiles, so it makes sense that it would matter the most to me, and I would like it the most. And so that would be my gospel, and then I would have one of Paul's letters, and I would pick Romans. Romans is where he gives his deepest theological explanation of Jesus, of the church, of spiritual gifts, all these different things that help us understand what happened to the church after Jesus came, and what we're supposed to do with that. So those would be my 4. I would have honorable mention as well of Revelation, because as a child, it was the book that got me interested in the Bible the most, because you had dragons and you had monsters and all kinds of cool stuff in there that as a young man reading my Bible, the first book of the Bible that I read from beginning to end was Revelation. And just because I was just so interested in, it was just so weird. And that was before I really knew all about what was in the other places. So anyways, all right, those are my 4. We'll go Matt and then Kelly to round us out.
All right. So the ones that kind of match, I would say Isaiah.
Okay.
That was on mine. And all the reasons you mentioned. I think, because really there's a few of those prophets that are really good. I mean, I
didn't pick Jeremiah or Ezekiel because they're a little bit weirder, and a little less straightforward. And I mean weird in a good way. I mean, like, there's just stuff that happens in there that are Revelation-esque, and it's kind of like hard to figure out what all's going on. Isaiah just seems to be more straightforward.
Yeah, you're right, and that's where I was kind of. I didn't want to put them both there, and so I was wrestling kind of between Isaiah and Jeremiah.
Gotcha.
Were kind of the two I was kind of wrestling through. So, but Isaiah, like, you kind of have his calling, all those kinds of things. There's just a lot there, and for all the things you mentioned, I agree. As far as next one, I would put the Gospel of John.
Okay.
On there, because
I thought about that.
Yeah, because I believe it's a really good, essentially, defense, and really kind of lays out the gospel very clearly. And he just does a really good job encapsulating all of that. If you had one gospel, that's typically what I would refer people to. Like if someone's a new believer or considering the faith, that's usually where I point them first. Is okay, let's read the book of John. And so I would go there. This is going to be
here we go.
A little bit of an outlier.
Here we go.
But as it is one of Paul's letters.
Okay.
But it's 1 Corinthians.
You want the dysfunction. You want the crazy church.
Yeah. And so there was a lot of dysfunction there. Within that book comes one of my favorite passages of 1 Corinthians, specifically chapter 9. Of course, really, you can get into 8, 9, and 10 all right there together, kind of talking about Christian freedom, and specifically kind of talking about how in 1 Corinthians 9 you get into I made myself a slave to all so that I might win some kind of mentality of teaching people, like, it doesn't matter your situation, but use it for the sake of the gospel, kind of thing. And so I like, and it kind of creates some foundation for some of those issues that local churches were kind of facing. And so I like that
still
one.
Still facing today.
And still facing today. Very relevant. So I'd say Isaiah, John, 1 Corinthians. I struggled with my fourth one a little bit because, there's just so many different ways you could go with it. I would say
it's always the fourth one.
It is, and I just had a really tough time. I thought about like Leviticus, maybe.
Gonna pick the book of the Bible that people give up on the most.
Just checking. No, I think another one. It's again a little bit of an outlier, but I think I would go with Hosea.
Okay.
Just because it's such a unique perspective.
2 prophets.
And it really, I'm a prophet guy. I like the prophets. And with Hosea, it really gives us a true picture of what the gospel is, going to be. And, it was a very clear calling of an individual to walk through that and face and have to make real, like, earthly type sacrifices and things, and experiencing just so that we could kind of get a picture of God's love for the Jewish people and all those kinds of things, and restoration and that. And so that's kind of probably where I would go. There's a lot of other good ones out there. Whenever you got a full collection, it's hard to choose from, but that's probably where I'd go with my fourth one.
All right, great list. Okay, Kelly.
Okay, this is strictly, if I opened up the Bible and I wanted to read something that day, this is what I would
All right, let's do it.
out. So it's got nothing to do with how y'all did your list. But first I have Genesis. You gotta know how it starts.
Yep.
And there's just so much in there. And then I have Psalms, because you can't get bored. There's no boredom in there anywhere. Philippians, because I think just because I'm in it now, like just learning about joy, how to have joy, like how to continuously grow.
It's my favorite of Paul's letters. Like if I was just talking about like these are my favorite letters, that's my favorite letter.
Okay, now this one, y'all might laugh, but Habakkuk.
I love Habakkuk.
That's a good one.
In my head, they're fighting back and forth, and I think it's hilarious because I can just picture it going, like, not fighting, but like talking back and forth. And I don't know, I just really enjoy that one. Like, I can picture it so many different ways.
Yeah. It's a great list. I love it.
Wow, I might win something.
Actually, you might.
It's okay.
All right. Are we ready to vote?
Ready to vote.
Everybody got their vote in mind? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Kelly.
Wow!
Nice
Are
list.
there sympathy points?
No,
Not for me.
I thought it was a good list.
Psalms is a great choice. It's the songbook of Israel. It's prayers. It's honest reflection on their experience with God. I love that. And then, like I told you already, Philippians is my favorite of Paul's letters. I love it. And Habakkuk is actually the prophet that I understood and read well the first time for the very first time of actually reading the prophets well.
Yeah.
That was the one that kind of like, I love this. So,
And it's more like real life than some of them,
sure.
to me.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Very good. Well, that was fun.
That was.
Enjoyed that, and it kind of gives us an opportunity to do that and kind of just plug in some public opinion and, similar to the debate episode, but still very different, and kind of gives us.
We would love to hear from you guys what your favorites of the list that like we gave. If you want to debate us or disagree with us or agree with us, we love it when people agree with us.
Absolutely.
Shoot us a list that we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I love that sort of stuff. Just kind of, there's been times we've had that conversation, or like other staff members, Adam will come in, we'll sit down and we'll kind of talk through some of that stuff. And so it's just fun. It's a fun way to kind of hash out some of those things and it helps you get to know people, right? And that's my favorite thing with this, idea of this Mount Rushmore of topics is it gives the opportunity to kind of see what another person is thinking, where they're, where they place emphasis or importance and things like that, because like even in our discussions today, Kelly leaned more into personal opinion and personal preference. I'll lean more into kind of historical, overarching, kind of things. And then yours was kind of a blend, right? And so I think that's, just tremendous to get to know one another. And so it's just a fun way to have those conversations, get to know those around you. So, kind of what makes a person tick and kind of where they think and where they are going through. But as always,
better conversations.
And better conversations. That's right. And so as always, we appreciate you listening and tuning in. And until next time, remember, there are better things ahead.
Thanks for joining us on Better Things Ahead. Follow the show on Spotify and Apple Podcast, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the video of our podcast. Until next time, keep moving forward, because there are always better things ahead.